Off and underway at the Etihad for Manchester City versus Chelsea. The third of 4 meetings across all competitions between these two sides, across a stretch of just 12 days. I'm Michael McCann, your commentator. Great to have your company here. These sides meet at this particular stadium for the first time in their history. The majority of the time when Manchester City have been here, it's either been on Champions League nights or with Manchester United welcomed in the WSL. Miedema trying to skip away. Of course, scored the 2 goals in midweek that gave Manchester City victory in that quarter-final first leg. Millie Bright looks cross-field. He picks out a fantastic pass for Carnareed. Alexandri's there. City trying to break the press, not doing so successfully. In the corner by Hamano. Carnareed, nice move this. What's at the end of it? Offside flag is up. Bright start from Chelsea. Nick Cushing passing in instructions. Cushing saying in the build-up to this one, we can be a threat to whoever we play. Chelsea don't have anything we don't have. We're not where we want to be right now in the league, but it's about gaining the belief that we can. The minimum is Champions League qualification. No manager has more wins against Chelsea in the WSL era than Nick Cushing. He beat Chelsea 5 times during his first spell with the club before departing in January 2020 for the MLS in New York City. Charles. Well, one back, and now Manchester City can build through Carolyn, who caused Chelsea all kinds of problems in midweek. On the overlap comes Kasparai, who never needs a second invite to get forward. Kasparai's cross. Bobbling around, Park up there, enjoying a little bit more freedom, pushed into a slightly more advanced role today. Miedema. Carolyn. Miedema wants it on the return and almost got it. Viviana Miedema, who so often been a bit of a scourge of Chelsea over the years, scoring plenty of big goals in league and cup games when in an Arsenal shirt, and came up trumps when coming off the bench in midweek. First touch for Keating. Getting her 12th appearance of the season across all competitions. WSL Golden Glove winner last season, but has lost her place as City #1 to Ayaka Yamashita. Touched around the corner, but Park wasn't quite there. Bronze has to be wary. Alexandri's header. Hasegawa so good in tight spaces, but he finds Jean-Francois. Chelsea looking to get back on that winning horse where they've been so much of this season. They are still working their way towards a potential unbeaten WSL season. That would be one heck of an achievement. No loss in 19 WSL games. If they don't lose today, it will be their second best run in the competition's history. The longest was set by Chelsea, February 2019 to January 2021. They went almost 2 years unbeaten, didn't lose in 33 games, so they've got a long way to go until getting to that. Miedema loses it. Now Chelsea can build. Beaver Jones. Hamano. Floated cross. It's too close to Keating. More promising early signs for Chelsea in attack. Captain was in attendance, trying to make a nuisance of herself. Here come Chelsea again. Jean-Francois. Clever ball inside, and what an important interception that is from Yui Hasegawa. Otherwise, that was a a big chance on goal. Need him up. Spread wide, Carolyn. Carolyn's cross wasn't the best. You'd think that a big pitch like this would really help Carolyn as well. As a wide player gives you plenty of room to cause chaos. You would imagine that some of the analysis in the Chelsea camp after that midweek meeting would have been about how to contain Carolyn a little better, particularly in that first half. Thinking to do for Sonia Bonpastor after defeat in midweek, but overall the WSL record looks pretty good. And I say that slightly sarcastically because it's far better than that. 14 wins and 2 draws from 16 games. 1 loss in 28 across her reign as Chelsea boss. It's been a pretty seamless transition. Beaver Jones. Wright just takes her time. Tipped on by Jean-Francois. Different engine room for Chelsea today with the presence of Jean-Francois and captain. Mizell. City's just trying to work it out of that tight space. One of the important individual battles today will be how Naomi Lezell handles coming in left back, having to deal with a dangerous Hannah Ritten-Connerid. And then if Chelsea swap their flanks around, might have to face a bit of Lauren James and Micah Hamano as well down there. Touched on. Ball's a bit of a hot potato. It ends up at the feet of James. Now Hamano. Slightly heavy touch, and that gave the chance for Lezell to win the goal kick off Ashley Lawrence. Lawrence, who came out of West Virginia University and then built a lot of her European career across 6 seasons at Paris Saint-Germain. Bev Priestman talking about how she never stops working down the wings when Priestman was her coach at Canada. Part of that Canada side that got a gold medal in Tokyo. Asagawa links the play. Lezell. Chelsea on the high press. Keating. Beaver Jones harrying. Alexandri had to be at a composed best there. Now Kasparai. That's a nice move. And now Carolyn has a chance to speed through. It's Carolyn. Massive save from Hannah Hampton. Could have been a first WSL goal for Carolyn. Really well-timed run, arcing in from that right flank. Chelsea didn't quite sort out their defensive cover as they might have liked. And Bright and Charles were left chasing in behind. Hampton made herself big and made a superb save. Kind of saves we've been all too familiar to seeing from Hannah Hampton. Corner worked short, training ground move, you'd imagine. Kasparai wanted Carolyn on the reverse ball, didn't find her. Away by Lawrence. And suddenly it's Carolyn hurtling back in defence. Asagawa. Park this time wanting that ball in behind. The back pass was A little bit harem-scarum. Hampton was alert and I think has made it pretty plainly clear that she'd rather not receive another back pass like that. Charles just about getting it to her Lioness's teammate. Niedermar was eyeing her 11th goal of the season, and her 7th in the WSL. After that high-profile switch from Arsenal in the summer. Some early bright moments for Chelsea, but it's Manchester City who've just created the best chance of the contest so far through Carolyn. Has scored her first goal for the club, got it against Leicester City in the FA Cup last month. Still new to Manchester, of course, to joining from North Carolina Courage in January. Park. Keaton content to play sweeper keeper as these sides meet yet again. It's not just recently that they've met plenty of times. It's been a run for a good while where it seems like they've been playing each other far more often than most. Marcel goes down. Fouled by Lawrence, free kick in a dangerous area. Today is the 26th meeting in the last 7 years between these two sides. The second leg on Thursday will be 27th in 7 years, so even though they've only got 2 league fixtures against each other a year, they play each other almost on average 4 times a year because of how often they seem to keep meeting in cup competitions. Chelsea with 13 wins, 5 draws and 7 wins for City across that run, so it's Chelsea who edge the head-to-head. Hasegawa's cross, only just kept alive by Pryor. Touch over hit by Yuri Hasegawa, who's normally so good from dead ball situations. Left a lot to do for Pryor at the back post. This was the Carolyn chance. Hampton did everything right. The angle wasn't ideal for Carolyn in terms of how the goal looked and how big Hampton made herself. Charles nicks it back. Hamano. Chelsea looking to be dangerous in transition. But James loses it. And in turn wins it straight back off Carolyn, and James goes on one of those trademark mazy runs. A little bit like a slalom skier. Lovely shimmy there from Alexandri. You can already see the quality on show from both of these sides. Again, just shows what we already know in terms of their squad depth. You look at the quality of the kind of players who are missing for both teams today. Manchester City can't call on Lauren Hemp, Risa Shimizu, Bunny Shaw, Rebecca Kanak, Iba Fujino, Alex Greenwood, Aka Yamashita. And Chelsea's list of absentees is even longer. Niedermar. Roard. Wasn't the best pass for Hasegawa. Amano almost got in there. Park. Deflected. Bright's header, and Bright eyes a chance to charge forward from the back. Instead only finds Hasegawa. Coombs. Possibilities here for Manchester City, but ended by that confusion. Chelsea today unable to call on the likes of Kadisha Buchanan, Sophie Ingle, Georgia Fox, Ichira Musovic, Emma Germa, Melissa Pomme, Brooke Aspin, Kura Wrighton and Sam Kerr. care of them. Lost by Alexandri. Normally such a good passer. Carnareed can sprint away, and Alexandri makes up for her error. Johanna Carnareed, one of the fastest players in the WSL. If there's anyone you don't want to accidentally give it away to, then it's her. Got that game-changing energy. Game just takes a minute to pause and take breath. Manchester City looking for a better day here at the Etihad than they played against arch rivals Manchester United in January. Losing 4-2 here. Had got 3 wins and a draw here in the WSL before that. Goes a little more direct, ends up at the feet of James. Hampton composed in possession, as you'd expect. One of the most two-footed goalkeepers you'll see around. Built that from being in the academy at Villarreal once upon a time. Too much on that, and Keating can try and set Manchester City going. Captain. Jean-Francois. Amano. Nicely constructed move this from Chelsea. Carnareed. Crossfield ball finds a bit of space for Charles. Just a little half tackle in there from Pryor to disrupt the rhythm of it, but Chelsea still build. Captain. Charles. Bright. James. Pass count really growing on this move. Little 1-2. And then James again. Trying to thread it through. Desperate foot on it from Alexandri. Jean-Francois. Lawrence goes round the outside. Cleared by Lezelle. Still there for Chelsea though. Amano. That's excellent pressing. And that's a free kick for a foul on Miedema. Long spell of possession there for Chelsea. City's diligent defence wins the battle. Jean-Francois hauling Miedema back here. And the Dutch striker, known for her calmness, visibly frustrated and feeling there should be further punishment for that. Speaking as someone strictly neutral in this commentary box, based on the promising nature of the counter-attack, you can understand Miedema's point. Hart loses it. Hermano. Pass not quite right. Pryor, who's had such an impressive breakthrough season with Manchester City, given a run due to injuries and seizing that chance really well. touch off Beaver Jones. Alexandri. Park. Bright gets there first. Beaver Jones loses it. Kasparai was alert to the danger. One-two doesn't quite work out. Emile Lizelle looking to advance up that left flank. Lizelle, who signed from Bristol City in the summer of 2024. Scored in Manchester City's group stage home win against Barcelona in the Champions League that really set their stall out about City being back in the main part of that competition and making an impact. City only just missing out on topping the group against Barcelona, having lost to them in match day 6 and ending up facing Chelsea in the quarters. Asagawa fouled. City keen to keep the tempo up. Park. Park puts one in, too close to Hampton. I would say, seemed to be signalling there that she was frustrated that cross wasn't closed down a little more. Charles. Amano. Really good pressing by Hasegawa. It almost won City the ball back in a very dangerous spot. Midway through the first half, exactly what we expected, and it's very much matched what we saw in terms of the balance of play across the first 2 games so far, in terms of a very even, tight and tense contest. Aaron Cuthbert watching on, one of the players he played midweek for Chelsea in the 11 of 6 who are not in that 11 today. Cuthbert on the bench if required. Was talking on the official Chelsea Women's podcast recently about her learning Spanish, and apart from other things, that helping her to communicate more with Chelsea's group of Spanish-speaking players, taking 5 hours of Spanish lessons a week. James trying to wriggle her way through. Still James, James's cross. Alexandri had to be alert and was. Such a dangerous, tricky customer, Lauren James. It was a ball into a dangerous area. If Chelsea had a near post runner, that could have been very interesting indeed. In comes the corner. Keating got there, and Jean-Francois smashed it over. Not overly convincing from Keating, but she gets away with it, due to the French midfielder's wastefulness on the follow-up. Still looking for a first WSL goal, Orion Jean-Francois. Couldn't quite produce the rocket required there. Thinking to do for Sonia Bonpastor. We talked about the fact that it's a different setting for today's game, but that having made the 6 changes more than backed that the squad depth would had what was needed to fight for the 3 points that would take Chelsea back where they started this round of fixtures, 8 clear at the top. Hampton, so composed in situations like that from all her experience as an outfield player as a youngster. played a lot of football where she'd play a half in goal and a half outfield. Pryor. A real arm wrestle of a game this. Kerrilin's early chance saved by Hampton. One clear-cut opportunity either side have carved out. Patient possession from Manchester City. Chelsea trying to force the issue on the press. Pryor. Kasparay. He's been an excellent signing at right back for Manchester City. Joined in 2022 from FC Twente in a summer that saw a lot of change for Manchester City. A number of high-profile departures, including Kira Walsh and Lucy Bronze, who are now in a Chelsea shirt. Indeed, so much has changed in 3 years. If you go back to almost exactly 3 years ago to the day when Manchester City beat Chelsea 3-1 in the Subway League Cup final, none of that starting 11 who played for City that day are in their starting 11 today. Laura Coombs and Jess Park did come on. Lauren Hemp was in the team, but of course is out injured now. Same can be said for Alex Greenwood. And for Chelsea, only Millie Bright and Niamh Charles are left from that 11 3 years ago, who are in today's team. Charles down the line. James. Clever ball through. Chelsea working their way forward nicely here, or they were, until Carnareed had it strongly taken off her. Chance for Kerrilin on the break. Miedemar arriving in support, as is Park. Kerrilin might just go herself here. Kerrilin across. Miedemar was waiting for it, begging for it. Magnificent work from the brilliant Brazilian. Who has been key in all the good things Manchester City have done going forward. Miedemar totally unmarked in the box, but it never made it thanks to Lucy Bronze. In the right place at the right time against her old club. Bronze, who played just under 100 games for Manchester City across a couple of spells. And by Hasegawa. Hampton, who briefly wasn't quite able to clutch it. We're seeing again, albeit with both packs shuffled, 4 changes for Manchester City, 6 for Chelsea, how evenly matched these sides are. Speaking to various sources from both sides in the build-up to this one, couldn't really find anybody that was particularly convinced that either side would comprehensively beat the other. Even the midweek game might have been 2-0 Manchester City, but in terms of expected goals and quality of chances created was very even. Throwing straight out of play from Charles. Worth saying as well, if you'd like to win a Barclays WSL signed shirt and a pair of tickets to any game across this season, scan the QR code to enter our competition now. And to keep up to date with all of the latest news in the world of women's football, make sure you're signed up to the official newsletter, either by clicking the link on the pinned comments or through the official Barclays WSL website. Carnareed just ran into heavy traffic. He's surrounded by Manchester City defenders, but Chelsea still go on. It runs for Lawrence. Still not away, Captain. Important intervention from Coombs. He's come into that midfield battle today. New look midfield on both sides. Bright. James skipping away from Carolyn. Getting past Rord as well. Lawrence. Charles. Captain, Hermano on the turn. Captain again. City stretched. Deflected cross. Away by Lizelle. As the left back had done exactly what you should do there, tuck in and help out. Hermano's shot blocked. City just can't get it away. Hasegawa though gets a better clearance, and Carolyn's pace will allow her to get here. Carolyn against Bright with Miedemar in support. Just slowed down a touch. And still Carolyn. And in from Carolyn! A first WSL goal for the brilliant Brazilian. Excellent in midweek, excellent in the first half here. Gets just her second ever Manchester City goal to show for it. Enjoying the moment, and why not? Carolyn Nicolai. Well, for a long time, you think that Millie Bright is actually doing everything right in this one-on-one. Defenders talk about trying to slow an attacker down, allow support to get back. Chelsea had got plenty of defenders back, but Carolyn keeps her composure and just waits and waits and waits, and then rolls it into the far corner. The January signing from North Carolina Courage just spots the space between the legs of Bright. Such a smart finish. Nothing Hampton can do because of the precision on it. Hampton relatively unsighted because of the defenders in front of her, of course. Manchester City midweek Champions League winners by 2-0 in the quarter-final first leg against Chelsea. And now in front against Chelsea here. Sonia Bonpastor's side with a comeback to mount. Otherwise, they will remain where they started today, 5 points clear of Arsenal, but having lost their game in hand. Chelsea would still hold the cards in terms of trying to go on and seal a 6th straight league title, but would make life a little more difficult. And here comes Park trying to make Chelsea's life more difficult. Ball inside, Bright gets into confusion. And the shot from Kasparai saved with relative simplicity by Hampton. Kasparai eyeing what would have been her first WSL goal of the campaign after Bright's clearance came off Captain. Great interception by Alexandri. City are full of beans here. Alexandri across towards Carolyn. Sliced off bronze into the gloves of Hampton. Chelsea just need to find their composure again here. Lawrence. Charles. Chelsea just using a spell of possession to re-find their feet after that goal. That's a nice pass, Carnareed. And still Carnareed, lovely feet. Headed away by Alexandru. Johanna Rytting Carnareed had a brilliant best there. Well, Orange Jean-Francois did pick up a yellow card for that challenge. Jean-Francois, who signed from Paris Saint-Germain last summer. 19 women's European champion for France, made her senior debut the year after. Joins an embarrassment of riches in terms of talent Chelsea have, not just across their squad, but in that position as well. You think with the addition of Kira Walsh in January. Carnareed charging round the outside. Important recovery from Lezelle. Speedy winger causing all sorts of problems, Johanna Rytting Carnareed, and found in a bit of space. Lezelle came back nicely. Chance for a quick response from Chelsea. Hermano's corner. Alexandri's header. Jean-Francois hooks it back into an awkward area. And then Bright. Smashed away by Park. And Kerolin might have another chance on the break. Lauren James, he knows all too well about how to launch a good counter-attack herself. Stops this one. James bundles Kasparai over. Kirsten Kasparai, who has become a bit of a fan's favourite at Manchester City, both for roaming down that right flank and off the field. Excellent work as a photographer. Talked about wanting to be a police officer when she was young once upon a time, but instead is much better policing things in a defensive sense down City's right and then offering a threat going forward. And it's Kasparai who has won this free kick. Chance for a second Manchester City goal in 5 minutes or so. Hasegawa's free kick is a poor one though. That's bread and butter for Hannah Hampton. Nick Cushing will be starting to think of his half-time team talk. Adam White said when Cushing came back that he has great ideas, is diligent, good tactical communicator, who loves being on the grass. Jen Beattie, who also played under Cushing, talking about his incredible ability to make you focus on the task in hand and shut out the noise, simplify this chaotic run of fixtures. Carnareed's ball to the back post, there was nobody there for it. Right now, Manchester City eyeing up a second win against Chelsea in 4 days. Kerolin, it's a 2-on-2 if Kerolin speeds off quickly here. Miedemar still there, Kerolin going through, and the shot is in, but the whistle had gone. Jess Park frustrated. You can understand Manchester City's point. It did seem like an advantage might have been beneficial for the home side there. With Jess Park and Miedemar in attendance. Park just trips Kerolin there. Fantastic finish from Park. Manchester City will have to settle for this free kick, though. Hampton getting a wall set. It will be Yui Hasegawa. She doesn't score many goals for Manchester City, but when she does score them, they tend to be goal of the month, if not goal of the season contenders. So keep your eyes peeled here. We might be about to see something spectacular. As Yui Hasegawa got a rocket in her pocket here. It's Hasegawa, and it's so close. Oh, she only scores spectacular goals, seemingly, and that was almost another of them. Hasn't scored in the WSL this season or last, but nearly produced one of her best here. Bent over the wall, and then dipping down, but not dipping down quite enough. Hampton was not far from it. Remains to be seen if it had got under that crossbar, whether Hampton might have got something behind it. And even by her high standards, it would have been an excellent save. Hasegawa's last Manchester City goal coming in the Subway League Cup last season. Carolyn. Kasparai. Carolyn again. Hasegawa, what a clever ball that is for Carolyn. Carolyn's cross, and wide. Good chance for Coombs. Magnificent build-up from Manchester City. Ever since scoring that opener, just around 10 minutes or so ago, have had the better of the contest. Miedemar was in attendance, but it was Coombs who took it. Couldn't quite get her first WSL goal of the season. Laura Coombs, once of Chelsea, of course. Intriguing first half. Right now it's Manchester City who've had the better of it, not just on the scoreboard but on the balance of play as well. Cleared by Alexandri. Chelsea looking to work their way back in against an opponent they know so well, but an opponent that has increasingly had more joy against Chelsea in recent times. City's win against Chelsea in the Conti Cup final almost exactly 3 years ago was first win in 10 as Amano tries one. Nothing for Keating to be too bothered about. Was Carolyn helping it on for Park, who provided a finish fitting of the occasion. Whistle had already gone though, to the Lioness's frustration. Kasparai. James has to be aware and gets back to concede the corner. A year to the day since Manchester City beat Manchester United 3-1 at the Etihad. We'll hope right now it's proving to be some kind of an omen. Just 1 minute added on at the back end of this first half, which has had minimal disruptions to speak of. Hasegawa's corner. Floated in by Hasegawa, away by Charles. And Jean-Francois got it properly away at the second time of asking. James trying to launch the break. Clever ball. Keating was alert to it though. Jean-Francois' header. Manchester City chasing a 5th win in their last 11 against Chelsea. That's a really impressive head-to-head record. Particularly against a team who've been so domestically dominant. But right now, it's Chelsea who have the questions to answer. Manchester City victorious in the midweek Champions League quarter-final first leg. And in this match 3 of the 4-game Super Series, after Chelsea had won the Subway League Cup, it is Kerolyn's goal that means that deservedly on the balance of play at half-time in these sides' Barclays Women's Super League meeting. It's Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. Manchester City desperate to get into that top 3. Third gets you into Champions League qualifying for next season. Second half off and running. Manchester City now in their traditional sky blue, kicking from right to left as we look at things. Chelsea in their peach changed kit, kicking from left to right. No subs made by either side at the break. Both coaches with 5 changes up their sleeve as Hermano slips just as Chelsea were building promisingly. Chelsea, of course, who beat these very same opponents in the Subway League Cup final by 2-1. That unfortunate own goal created by Myron Ramirez, but the own goal is ultimately, of course, credited to Yui Hasegawa, deciding that game. Iva Fagino scored for Manchester City. Chelsea came out on top, though, 2-1 winners. Ramirez also scoring early doors. Park. Mazel sees it out for a throw. Manchester City hunting for a win that would make it 10 points from 4 games. Since a bit of a mid-season slump in the WSL by their very high standards. Managed just 6 points from 6 across 1 point in the winter. Today, of course, they're having to deal with plenty of absentees, as are Chelsea. You could put together one heck of a combined 11 between the players that Manchester City and Chelsea have in their squad but can't call on today. Hasegawa. Will be intriguing to see how both managers use their bench as and when they do. Karen Carney singing the praises of Nick Cushing for the way he did in midweek in terms of tactical tweaks at half-time, and then Wiedemar coming on and scoring 2 with Manchester City taking victory. James has a go. Simple stop for Keating. A warning shot from Lauren James. James looking for what would have been a 5th goal across all competitions this season. Hermano. Eventually Chelsea get control of it. Battle in midfield. Lawrence. Carnareed. Hannah Witting-Carnareed, such a threat. Captain. Better from Chelsea. Witting-Carnareed. Witting-Carnareed for Beever-Jones! Chelsea score with their first shot on target. Aggie Beever-Jones. With her 10th goal of the season across all competitions. Inside the opening 5 minutes of the second half, Chelsea strike back. And it's one of their own who makes the difference. The 21-year-old who came out of Cobham and is so successfully broken through into this Chelsea side in recent times. It's her 7th goal in the WSL this season. Ruthless from the Blues, who've not offered a lot in attack. Hampton had to be careful there, I beg your pardon. Sagawa seems to have hurt herself from that challenge, but City go on. There's a neat assist as well from Hannah Witting-Carnareed. And just like that, as Chelsea so often do, you see it with so many of these teams that consistently pick up trophies, find an ability, even when they're not playing well, to work their way back into a game. Now Manchester City have the questions to answer. The pendulum swings. Bright forward. Will be kept in by Captain. Captain trying to win the corner of Kasparai and has managed to, despite appeals of handball. Against Vika Captain, the Dutch prodigy. Signed by Chelsea in the summer of 2023 and loaned back to FC Twente. At the Women's World Cup a couple of years ago, was the youngest ever World Cup player for a Dutch national team. Mano's near post corner. Miedema didn't make a clear an intervention on it as she might have liked. And that's Hasegawa pressuring Lawrence. You sense there's a lot of chapters to be written in this one yet. These sides have had many an epic over the years. Just for example, you think of that when Chelsea won in the FA Cup final after extra time. Sam Kerr's 99th minute winner. There's been so many games that have been a variation of that between these sides in the Cup and the League that have gone right to the wire. Miedema has options, might go herself. It's Vivianne Miedema testing Hampton. Was trying a not entirely dissimilar finish to in midweek. Looking to roll it across Hampton into the far corner. Such a consistent threat, and what a signing for Manchester City to make in the summer. Picking up a certain Vivianne Marina Astrid Miedema from Arsenal. Now here come Chelsea. Hannah Witting-Carnareed has just got that assist, almost sets up another. Vika Captain. So close. Great save by Keating. Chelsea bursting into life at the start of this second half. Not easy for Keating. That was a really good, clean connection on it from Vika Captain. James just directing Lawrence. Of course, last season it was Manchester City pushing Chelsea so close for the WSL title. This time it's Manchester City inadvertently trying to help out a potential title bid for Arsenal. Manchester City losing the title on goal difference last season. Here comes Ritten Kaneryd, might shoot herself, does shoot herself! Off the post from the Swede. Johanna Ritten Kaneryd is causing all sorts of chaos at the start of this second half. Well, she hit the bar against Manchester City in an earlier part of this four-match Super Series between the clubs. And that time hit the post on the far side. First change for Chelsea. Erin Cuthbert comes on for Maika Hamana. What a player to be able to bring on as a central midfielder to inject energy into the contest. Cuthbert, Chelsea's team joker. It's been a huge part of Chelsea across almost a decade now. Asagawa can only fail to find Carolyn. Foul on Beaver Jones, the goal scorer. Pryor a little too physical for the referee's liking. Asagawa, Ritten Kaneryd again putting the afterburners on. Inside for Jean-Francois, sliced wide. Would have probably preferred it on her right, but it sat up such that realistically she knew she probably had to hit it on her left there, with Alexandre closing her down. Marion Jean-Francois, who's chipped up with a couple of goals this season, but none in the WSL yet. Smooth from Millie Bright. Cuthbert. Bronze. Lawrence. Nick Cushing, I'm sure, will be thinking about exactly how he wants to use his bench to affect this game. That's it, an offensive-minded change from Laura Coombs, from Nick Cushing. Laura Coombs coming off, Mary Fowler coming on. I wonder whether it might see Jess Park drop back into being part of the midfield trio. Fowler, who's been used at points by Cushing as number 9, very versatile, the Australian international. So both teams have made one change and have 4 up their sleeve across a maximum of 2 interruptions to the game. Asagawa caught by Cuthbert. Park. That's a lovely bit of skill in there from Park. Now suddenly it's Lizelle in an unfamiliar position. Raw. Carolyn. And a pass inside for Kasparai wasn't quite right. And suddenly here go Chelsea on the break. It's turning into that kind of game. The Etihad certainly, dimensions-wise, one of the biggest pitches that is used in the Barclays Women's Super League. And a surface that, of course, is in pristine condition, so lends itself to an open, exciting contest, particularly as time goes on. Keating hammers it away. Chelsea looking for a route back. They've got that equaliser from Beaver Jones, and now they're calling for more cavalry off the bench. What a pair of players to have available for such a situation. Kira Walsh and Myra Ramirez. Beaver Jones. Pickpocketing Hasegawa, and now finding Cuthbert. Beaver Jones wants the return. Cuthbert across. It's Ritin Carnareed. And somehow Manchester City survive. Seemed to be a brilliant block by Laia Alexandri. Now Ritin Carnareed does everything you'd want her to do in that situation. Keeps her composure, picks her spot. Well, that replay would suggest it's actually a save from Keating. It certainly is. What a piece of goalkeeping. James's floated ball in. Nodded towards goal, but not with anywhere near enough power or position to concern Chiara Keating. Manchester City Academy graduate who really made her breakthrough to the first team full-time last season, when she also got an England call-up. Built her experience from loan spells at Fylde and Coventry United previously. Chance for City to charge forward. Fowler. Deflected off Bright. Hampton alert to stop the corner. Ramirez and Walsh still waiting. It'll be intriguing to see exactly who they come on for. You'd imagine Walsh will come on for one of Jean-Francois or Captain in the double pivot. Walsh played for the first hour or so of that game in midweek and certainly gave Chelsea a lot of control in that part of the pitch. It seemed to be no coincidence that when she came off, they found it a little more difficult. It's Ritin Carnareed. She's having a great second half. Lezelle gets back, concedes the corner. Well, now the change can be made. Aggie Beaver Jones. Straight out of Cobham, one of Chelsea fans' favourites. Will make way. Jones has scored her 10th goal across all competitions this season and her 7th in the WSL to make it 1-1. Kira Walsh and Myra Ramirez can come on. James's corner. Away by Alexandri. Orion Jean-Francois and Aggie Beaver Jones coming off just to confirm those changes. You'd imagine formation-wise it will be a straight swap, albeit Ramirez will play that central striking role in a very different way to how Beaver Jones did. Ritin Carnareed again in more space. Now James. Blocked by Hasegawa. Manchester City might have had the first half pressure, but there's no doubt as to who's had the better of it in the second. Chelsea attacking towards the end where they've got a decent away support who've made the trip, giving them plenty to cheer. It's a delightful flick inside from Ritin Carnareed. James just rousing that away support as she goes across to take the corner. Shooting chance, scrambled away. Cuthbert's effort. And then spread wide. Manchester City just can't stop this Chelsea pressure in the same way as there was a bit of a reverse sense of that in the first half, particularly towards the end of half-time. Just after Manchester City scored, they got a wave of confidence and dominated the game for a while. And we're seeing a version of that with Chelsea here. Ball forward, Keating is in an awkward position just outside her area. Rittinkana-Reid has it now. Rittinkana-Reid across, and Kaptein, who started the move, almost finished it. Kaptein and Rittinkana-Reid linking up magnificently, and again Keating has to be alert. It's all Chelsea at the moment. Not an easy save for Keating to make. Chelsea pressure continues. Another Chelsea corner. Chance for Cuthbert to strike, then Bronze. James. Ramirez, who's just come on. Ramirez wins the corner. Important block from Kasparet. I sense the substitutions definitely helping to inject some fresh energy for Chelsea. James's ball in. Stabbed clear for now. Lawrence. Manchester City hunting a break of their own. Park. Important recovery tackle. And the game just gets a moment to take breath. I sense the tempo as time goes on only seems to be increasing. That was Kaptein trying to make it 2-1. Johanna Rittinkana-Reid has been the main character for Chelsea in this second half. In the same way as Kerolin often was for Manchester City in the first. Remember that you can win a Barclays Women's Super League signed shirt and a pair of tickets to any match this season. Scan the QR code to enter our competition now. Kiara Keating down getting a bit of treatment. This is not what Manchester City need with Ayaka Yamashita, a summer signing from INAC Kobe Leonessa in the J-League. Out injured today, having been City's regular #1. Chelsea, of course, had to get Becky Spencer in on an emergency loan deal because of injuries to Femke Liefding and Zecira Musovic. And that was the pass back from Bronze, which left Hampton in a bit of bother. Still a quarter of this game left for either side to get a goal that could be absolutely pivotal in the WSL title race and have real implications for European football next season. Remember, Manchester City pushed Chelsea really close for the league last season, but one of the reasons they were able to do that is not having European football. It was a bit of a silver lining of not having a European campaign. It helped them have an even better shot at the WSL title. But they don't want to be without European football for a second time in 3 seasons, and if Nick Cushing's side end up finishing outside the top 3, assuming they don't go on and win the Champions League, that's where they'd be. Sonia Bonpastor's Chelsea looking for that elusive European crown. They've got to the semi-finals or further in 5 of the last 7 seasons. out in the semis in 2018, 2019, 2023 and last season. Runners up to Barcelona in 2021 too. Here goes Ramirez. Ramirez across. Just too much on it. Carolyn. And Chelsea have kept a lot quieter in the second half, mainly because Chelsea have been dominating the game overall. After this one, of course, these sides meet in the Champions League quarter-final second leg in 4 days' time. And then they finally, for the first time each in 4 games, of course, play a team that isn't each other. And they've probably forgotten what it's like by then. On the 30th of March, Chelsea host West Ham United. Manchester City on the same day travel to Brighton in the WSL. And there's FA Cup semi-finals looming around the corner. On the 12th of April, Chelsea at home against Liverpool. The day after, Manchester City at home against Man United. Here comes Kasparai. Wanted to find Miedemar, didn't. Hasegawa. Alexandri. Manchester City trying to fight their way back in to the arm wrestle after Chelsea's equaliser and spell of pressure. Carolyn. Kasparai sets up the chance. Miedemar couldn't quite get it out from underneath her feet after Mary Fowler had failed to test out Hampton. Promising signs for City though. Lezelle. Fowler. Fowler's ball in, Bright's header. Captain nods it on. Alexandri wins the duel against Ramirez. So Manchester City can keep the pressure on. Bright. Chelsea's turn to try and find a way out. Prong slotting in at centre-back today. To allow Lawrence to come into the team at right-back. Ramirez with the hold-up play. Trying to find Richard Carnareid. Safety first from Keating. James. Slaloming through as she so often, so effectively does. Still James. Didn't quite get the angle right on the shot. Well, this was a City move. Teed up so well for Fowler, who on this rare occasion got it all wrong in front of goal. So often she's someone you want that chance to fall to, Mary Fowler. She has 10 goals across all competitions this season. Signed from Montpellier in France back in 2022 by Manchester City and has steadily worked her way into being a key player for the citizens. James almost got through. Kasparai disrupted by a decent tackle by James. Chelsea looking to press. Alexandri. Pryor. Bright's intervention. Thrown one down that left flank by Neve Charles. Manchester City chasing Manchester United and Arsenal for a spot in that top three. It does help City, of course, that those two sides actually meet on the final day, so at least one of them will be dropping some points there. Lawrence. Into the 1-2. Important defensive cover from Fowler. Park tries to flick it on. Bronze's ball back in. Hasegawa's header. Cuthbert. Strong in the duel. Classic Cuthbert, managing to keep possession for Chelsea despite having two in close attendance from the opposition. Hasegawa's interception from Bronze. Even with Kerelin's pace, that's asking a lot. Need Charles covers well. Charles has shown a versatility over the years in the wide areas for Chelsea. Left Liverpool after they were relegated in 2020, having been in the youth setup there, and has been a valuable addition to the Chelsea side since, including being part of that Chelsea team that started in the Champions League final against Barcelona back in 2021. It is likely that whichever of these sides gets through in Tuesday's quarter-final will face Barcelona. Barcelona winning their first leg against German side VfL Wolfsburg 4-1, so they're in control of that tie. Here's Ritin Karnerud. Nobody quite able to finish the cross off. Kerelin. Well, Kerelin down, so referee Gal stopping things. Has a head injury, the referee is obligated to stop play. I think you can see Cuthbert's frustration. This was Ritin Karnerud yet again. It's been superb in the second half down that right flank. And that's the duel between Cuthbert and Kerelin. Erin Cuthbert, a tenacious Scot who's made a real home for herself at Chelsea, having firstly built a CV from her time at Glasgow City and Rangers. I was talking on the Chelsea Women's podcast about Celtic's videos from their fine wheel and fine system that are used at training, and made the joke that that's one thing I've seen from Celtic, that even though it's Celtic, I'm willing to accept that that's pretty good. Such is the rivalry in that part of the world. Fair few Chelsea fans making the trip. Got a run of home games to look forward to after this. 4 straight home games in all competitions. Manchester City in the Champions League, then West Ham and Crystal Palace in the WSL, with a home FA Cup game in the semi-final against Liverpool to look forward to in between those 2 league fixtures. And then Chelsea's WSL season finishes off with Manchester United away, Spurs away, and then the final day, 12:30 kickoff at home against Liverpool on the 10th of May. Plenty to look forward to for Manchester City as well, including 2 games against arch-rivals Manchester United in the FA Cup in mid-April, and then a penultimate league fixture will be against Mark Skinner's side as well on the 4th of May, travelling to face the red side of the divide. Manchester City finish off with Crystal Palace at home. Ready for the restart here. Chance to get the ball back. Bright finds James. James's cross. Ends up falling for Fowler. Intercepted by Bronze. Hasegawa, Miedemar on. Park helps it round the corner. Kasperai. Kerelin. Still Kerelin. Kerelin's cross. Park recycles. Fowler. Fowler in. We'll run for Carolyn to have a go. Too much power. Not quite enough precision to test Hampton. But again, Carolyn Nicolai showing her threat. Left-footed, crashing volley, surging over.
Also put up the City our captain, Alessandri.
Double change for Manchester City. Like Alessandri and Yui Hasegawa have both made way. And it's Laura Wienreuter and Lily Murphy who are the two to come on. So again, attack-minded changes from Nick Cushing. Hasegawa's had another excellent game today. Such a quietly underrated part of the Manchester City machine. Her 59th consecutive WSL appearance. That is exceptional consistency going back to October 2022. That run started just after she joined the club, having impressed at West Ham, including a game where she was key for West Ham in them beating Manchester City, and that's always a good way to impress a club that go on to sign you. Keating into the last 10 minutes. It'll be fascinating to see how those changes affect the contest. Nick Cushing determined that his side are going to play front foot attacking football regardless of the detailed list of absentees. He wants his team to be brave. A draw would be helpful, but only helpful so far, in the sense that whilst a point against a team who are unbeaten in the league all season is very good, it ultimately gives Manchester United the chance to extend the gap to 6 clear of Manchester City with victory later. Ball in from Captown wasn't quite where Ramirez wanted it. On by Wienreuter, he's only just come on, the Arsenal loanee, now Park. Pryor leaves it for Keating. Is there a twist in the tail here? And it's head-to-head, this fixture that seems to end up one way or another getting played far more often than any other match-up in English women's football. Wienreuter. Murphy. Murphy's cross. Nearly. Instead, James can try and get Chelsea away. Cuthbert is forced to look back. Manchester City on a particularly aggressive press here, really trying to pin Chelsea in. James wriggles clear though, and has cap time. Manchester City stretched, but saved by some great work by Naomi Lizelle, who's come in at left back today and had a very solid game. Murphy charging forward past Lawrence. Fowler on. Is this Manchester City's moment? Jess Park up against Bright. Carolyn Shooting chance. Carolyn was trying to lay it off the park, but Bright was there, as she so often is. As Lucy Bronze said, in the modern game, people often neglect defensive responsibilities, but when Millie Bright's in your team, you can't do that. Here goes Ramirez up the other end. Corner off Pryor, who's injured. He's taken a bit of a knock there. Winded, but back on her feet. Ramirez trying to make an impact off the bench, having scored in the Subway League Cup final between these two teams. Still settling into life at Chelsea in her first full season, having joined last January from Levante. At the time, the most expensive signing in the world for €500,000, soon surpassed by Rachel Kundananji. James's ball in, pinballing around and wide. Ritin Carnarid, so close. Has already assisted Chelsea's equaliser. The Swede nearly on target there for her 5th in the WSL this season, and what would have been a 6th across all competitions for the Swede, who is Chelsea's biggest attacking threat in this second half. Cuthbert inside. Chelsea starting to put the pressure on Manchester City. And coming into today, had already lost 4 times. Ramirez. Ramirez got it back. Cleared away, Chelsea corner. Manchester City lose today, it will be their joint worst WSL season in a decade in terms of games lost. It would be 5 defeats. They also suffered that a couple of seasons ago and 3 seasons back. City currently going at exactly 2 points a game. That would get them 44 points. And at this rate, it would be their lowest points tally in the 5 seasons when the league's had 12 teams in it. And their lowest points per game in a league season in a decade since 2014. So that gives you a sense of City's struggles in the league this season. Partially why Nick Cushing came in for Gareth Taylor. Chelsea throwing everything at it. Mia Fischel and Caterina Macario come on. So Chelsea have used all 5 of their changes. Fischel still working her way back from injury. It's a very late cameo here to try and be Chelsea's heroine. Walsh. Certainly attack-minded changes. Vika Kaptein and Johanna Ritin-Carnarid, the 2 to make way. So both teams really pushing at the end of this one. Fischel. Cross deflected. Keating can gather. Is there a late twist in the tail? And does the 4-match Super Series go to Thursday's Champions League second leg with a win, a draw and a loss for both of these teams thus far? Albeit regardless, City who hold the cards in that regard thanks to the 2-0 home win. Chelsea have it all to do at Stamford Bridge. James. Lauren James. Kiara Keating equal to it. Another important stop from Kiara Keating. In today with Ayaka Yamashita out injured, and Keating's had an excellent game. It's not just a save, it's that she parries it out for a corner. Really good, strong hand on it. Excellent goalkeeping technique. Rightly gives herself a brief moment to enjoy it. James's corner. City trying to just scramble it away. Ramirez's shot. Kasparai got it out to James. Ramirez's header. Just before that corner, another City substitution made. Laila Bahabi on for Jess Park. So City have made 4 changes, Chelsea have made 5. Charles digs out a cross, and Keating is there to deny Fischl. What would have been quite a moment for Mia Fischl, only recently coming back from injury, coming nearly straight off the bench to score the winner. Is there a twist in the tail here? A minimum of 6 minutes of stoppage time for either side to score what would almost certainly be a winner. Chelsea, as things stand, going 6 points clear at the top of the WSL. Manchester City picking up what would be a creditable point, no doubt, but a win would have seismic consequences in helping keep up the pressure on Manchester United. Teasing ball across! Erin Cuthbert! Chelsea in stoppage time have come from behind to surely win at the Etihad. Erin Cuthbert's 5th goal of the season. A big player who consistently produces in the big moments. Ashley Lawrence's cross, and there arriving was Cuthbert. Well, they don't call them the mentality monsters for nothing. This Chelsea side so consistently are there in the big moments, and having lost in midweek against Manchester City and gone behind today, they've come back to lead with time running out. Perfectly guided header from the diminutive Scot. Well, when she does score, it more often than not tends to be a long ranger with that particularly lethal right foot. But there it's Cuthbert popping up with the aerial effort. Chelsea looking for a third. That really would seal it in style. James just slows things down for a second. Now Manchester City with a chance to break. Chelsea's record this season would be 26 wins, 2 draws and just that 1 loss in midweek in all competitions if they can hold out here. But there's still time for Manchester City to have something to say about that. Bronze's foul. City free kick. It'll be so galling for Nick Cushing's side. He's done so much right today. Deservedly in front at half-time. Mary Fowler's to put the ball in. Fowler's cross. Hampton can gather. and will be in no rush. Nor can you blame her, given the scoreboard and the situation. Long from Hampton. Around a minute and a half left. These sides, of course, will do battle again on Thursday. For now, well, Nick Cushing's team are in pole position to get through to the Champions League semi-finals. A stage he took City to twice back in 2017 and 2018, both occasions losing to Olympique Lyonnais. It's Chelsea who hold the upper hand in the league. Ramirez. Chelsea hold out here. As long as they simply don't lose here, they will be 5 games away from an unbeaten WSL season. Quite the achievement. Chelsea just looking to see things through with a minimum of fuss. Sonia Bonpastor would have supremacy over Manchester City when it comes to that Subway League Cup final and the WSL. But a big comeback needed in midweek. Here come Chelsea, looking for a third maybe. Arsenal against Torres back in the mid-2000s, the last time the side overturned a 2-goal deficit in the Champions League after a first leg. James. Slipped forward by Walsh. Ramirez. Chelsea come back to win at the Etihad. Sonia Bonpastor's side respond to their first loss of the season by fighting back today to go 8 points clear. With just 5 games left, they're in pole position for an unbeaten WSL season and a 6th straight English domestic league title. A 15th win in 17 league games for the Blues. Manchester City lose ground in the race for the top 3. Aggie Beaver-Jones with the equaliser early in the second half, after Carolyn deservedly had put Manchester City in front in the first half. And then just as we ticked on into stoppage time, up pops Erin Cuthbert with the guided header from Ashley Lawrence's cross. Despair for Manchester City, who are 4 points behind Manchester United, who have a game in hand against Aston Villa starting shortly. These two sides meet again for Game 4 in 12 days across this Super Series of fixtures. Manchester City holding the cards in the second leg of the quarter-final, having won the first 2-0. Chelsea with work to do at Stamford Bridge, but they can take joy from an incredible league success today. It finishes here at the Etihad. Manchester City 1, Chelsea 2.